Hold up, Rocketeers, we're going to take a tour of the REPCONN Test Site today. Passing by the billboard, we'll come up to the tunnel and checkpoint. Now, it is guarded by many feral ghouls and a glowing one, so it's quite a formidable task to take them on early on. There is a dead ghoul, although it's actually not called a bright follower in this case, even though it is. There's a recharger rifle and some ammunition with him. And if we move on down to the bottom here, we can find even more ghouls, ash pals, showing a massive fight had occurred between the nightkin and, of course, the bright followers, in which they lost almost half of their numbers, repelling them. Plenty of items can be found around here. As I can safely say, the ghouls were prepared. They had plenty of mines, ammo. That's probably why they were able to take down so many nightkin. Now, if you go to the top here, leave no stone unturned, because a lot of these ghouls have very expensive weapons, and if you repair them all, they can turn them into even more valuable weapons. And a wee tower of Nuka-Colas. Be careful taking one down, it collapses the tower. Doctor's bag, medics, and stim packs give you a wee bit of an idea as to what you're going to encounter here. Trust me, you will need all the ammo you can get if you decide to go inside the test facility. Now, whilst the area looks very vast and there may be different ways to tackle this, if you're playing on an extreme difficulty, you may want to hug the ridgeline and you can go around the back into the back entrance. As for the actual launch site itself, it's inaccessible, and if you want to get to the basement, you can go over behind that palm tree there. The O of REPCONN is missing. That's because, you may notice, that Gibson, old lady Gibson, she's using it as a chair at the moment, and that's why she says it's so darn comfy. The rocket here is actually the exact same model that you can find in Vernon Square in Fallout 3, and at the Museum of Technology in Fallout 3 as well. Several ghouls dot the area, and as I said, you could go right or left, and it'll both take you round to the back entrance into this particular facility. Climbing our way up, we could just go straight in through the front door, and I'll show you all the good things that you can find. You can spend a good half hour.
Hey, over here. Are you listening? Go to the big room on the east side of this building.
So that is one of the ghouls that'll chat to you in order to start the quest. You'll find lots more nightkin and dead ghouls littering about the place, but plenty of ferals. They kind of contain them down to this one area. And you can see the rocket here is actually being held up by some tin cans that you can loot, although it doesn't cause the rocket to fall down. There are a few doors in which you can test your lockpicking skills, but I will show you the main one that you'll want to visit. Head straight on into the office area here. Again, very easy to lose your bearing in here. If you want to get into the back, just follow this little route, and you can go upstairs into the main room. This is where you'll encounter the ghouls, talk to Jason Bright and his scientist. They will be friendly, so you don't need to open fire. And there's an dead bright follower. So you'll want to talk into the intercom, and he'll let you into the research labs. We'll be back there in a moment. I'll show you a few other things. Dropping back down, if you need access into the basement, you can just go in through here. And it's either an easy lock, or you will get the key from Jason when he asks you to deal with the demons. Whilst you're down here, one thing you will want to go talk to is none other than the crazy nightkin, who won't actually attack you. This is where you can find Dawson, or Davidson, and Antler. Though, be careful. Any movement or touching of Antler and Davidson will immediately turn hostile, and he'll have no time for talking with you. So be careful if that's the route you decide to take. Once you go in here, you click the old switcheroo, and it takes you down into the basement. Now, once you clear the nightkin out, either through friendly means or violent means, you'll be able to gain access to down here. I'm going to show you a unique item, and then I'll show you how you can get rid of Davidson peacefully. Follow the tunnel down. Don't worry, there's no nasty death claws or creatures down here. It's pretty quiet, actually. There's a few storage rooms if you need to get supplies. Again, check every single room. You'll be amazed at what you can find around here. Inside here is where the rockets will be. And you can't access down there, but you can certainly observe. A spacesuit can be found, as well as a spacesuit helmet, which has no weight. It provides far more rads than your average suit. And then, of course, there's a few buttons and computers here that you don't need to interact with. Now, just to show you the exit point here, out into the Mojave, you can access that at any stage. So again, there's the rocket and all the ghouls, and you can nip down just back into it. Okay, so we'll go back up to Davidson and I'll show you the jail and Harland and a few other things that you can do from there. There's also an office that has some stealth boys in it. And the only thing about this place is it's just vast and a little confusing to navigate. Now what I've showed you is probably the primary points of interest that you need to see, and in terms of a unique item, there of course is that spacesuit. The place is crawling with Nightkin and Davidson, but you can speak to Davidson no problem. Going to the right will take you into a room with a ghoul known as Harland, provided you have an... If you talk to Davidson, he will tell you to try and clear this guy out. So that is another way you can get in. Doing so, he will engage in conversation with you. You won't get this far without needing to talk to him. But he will ask you to go in and find a ghoul friend of his. If you go over to the terminal here, just for it, you can read through the shipments here. They got a shipment of stealth boys, and let's just say there was a wee bit of workplace misbehaviour with the stealth boys, and there was some upsetting events, let's just say, and then it comes up that the shipment was indeed sent back. Now that's important because you will need that information to tell Davidson that there is no stealth boys, and then Antler will somehow convince him to move on. Now, Harland will require you to go find a friend of his. So if we follow this route here. As I said, a lot of this place looks the exact same. So you just have to have your wits about you when you're doing these routes. Into the jail cell. Now, there is a jailer here who you will have to get the key off. And once you get the key off him, normally you'll have to get it off through violent means. Although he mightn't react too much. Ow. Oh, he mightn't react to much at all. Well, that certainly got the message through. From here you can take the jail key off him. Or alternatively, you could have got the key over here. It'll be inside this desk. So you didn't have to kill him. I mean, it's preferable because you can run by all the nightkin and they won't worry too much. They will still try and kill you. Although you can stealth boy and sneak your way. It is a little difficult. The jail key will gain you access into here. You can check the other cells. There's not too much going on. And then straight into the left here, you can find the ghoul prisoner. All you have to do is search her. You don't need to take any items. And that will immediately allow you to speak to Harland. But you will need to speak to Harland first. And then go find the ghoul. So do it in that order. Now, the only other thing to note inside the main offices now would be the one that has all the stealth boys. So, as we're exiting on out here, through this way, we can go back into the main REPCONN facility. And now, all you want to do is go in here, climb up to the first floor, jump across, very easy, locked door, in, and then it should be the first door in front. Boom, we're into the office. There's an average lock safe that has some stealth boys in it, as well as the REPCONN Administrator Terminal. Sadly, this only has some cut content. It mentions that they converted the generator room that Harland is in into a storage room, and there's an access code to the to the safe. Unfortunately, the safe is nowhere to be seen. Now, a little story about REPCONN themselves. They were actually being bought over by Robco when there was a chemical spill that ended up making them go for a little cheaper than probably everyone wanted, and the whole place was welcomed into the Robco family. If you want to know more about it, there is several employee terminals like this one here, which gives you a bit more into it, like welcome to Robco. So I'm happy to announce that we have finalised our deal with Robco. Starting tomorrow, this will be an official Robco facility. Most of you won't notice any difference aside from an increase in benefits. Thank you for your time. Welcome to the Robco family. Now, what Robco did was they went in and took their plasma technology and weaponized it, essentially. So they didn't really buy the place more so for the rockets than the plasma propulsion systems, in which they then used in their own weaponry. So a pretty neat turn of events. And again, if you're going from the basement door, you want out, just walk along here, into the left, straight ahead, and it'll take you right down, back into the lobby. There are so many rooms, bathrooms, offices for you to go through, so certainly take your time to explore the entire facility. There's also a bear trap and a lot of ferals. So yeah, being careful is the key point there. This is what it looks like when you finish the quest, Come Fly With Me, and they're all sitting in the rocket room. And then to top it off, you can use the console here to get some extra karma for launching the rockets themselves. And then at the end of the Come Fly With Me quest, you get to watch this glorious sight as the rockets make their way out. Although apparently if you load from a save file, there's no sound. So that's a wee bit of a funny thing. Gaining access to this place, I suppose I should mention. You get to it via the research lab. So remember that door we went to? Well, that's the door right here, where we found the dead ghoul earlier. So again, to get to the end of Come Fly With Me, you go back into the lab, you take a left, and it's the locked door right here to the test site. Thank you all for watching.